We meet Sam, a terminal cancer patient in hospice just outside New York City. The illness has taken a toll on her, both physically and mentally, and the only friend she has is her cat named Frodo. Sam attends group therapy one day and reads a depressing poem she wrote.
It's called This Place is Shit.
Her caretaker, Ruben, does his best to ease Sam's pain. He's taking their hospice group to a puppet show in the city. Sam reluctantly agrees to go, only if they can get real New York pizza after, not that Sbarro trash. She takes Frodo with her. On their way to the show, Sam notices fighter jets flying over New York. They get to the theater and watch the show. Sam walks out when she starts to feel anxious about the show. Or maybe it's the creepy marionette, who knows. She decides to get some snacks and notices a squad of cop cars rushing past. When Sam gets back to her group, she finds Ruben, who seems panicked after a phone call. He tells her that their group has to leave due to some unspecified emergency going on in the city. Sam isn't too happy about it, but she has no choice.
You're not my friend. You're a nurse.
They get on the bus and their group notices strange sounds coming from far away. Sam checks out the window, and she's shocked to see that meteors are falling from the sky. Emergency alarms go off too. And at that moment, one of the meteors crashes down in front of the bus Sam is on. Shortly after, Sam comes to her wits. She struggles to get out of the wrecked bus only to find that the city has turned into chaos. Injured New Yorkers walk past her as explosions rock the area. Then, Sam suddenly hears a roar, while a random person gets dragged away by an unseen force. Sam makes a run for it and encounters a soldier. The soldier tells her to hide just before something snatches him away. Now extremely panicked, she takes cover behind a car and sees that there are gruesome monsters wreaking havoc all over the place. Sam realizes there's an alien invasion going on. More chaos ensues, and Sam tries to make a run for it. However, an explosion goes off that hurls her toward a wall. Sam loses consciousness from the impact. When Sam wakes up, she finds herself with a man who puts a hand over her mouth and signals for her to not make a noise when she starts to cough. She then realizes that they're inside the abandoned puppet theater. Not long after that, she reunites with Ruben and Frodo. A military helicopter flies overhead and tells the survivors to keep hiding while the government sorts things out. They find out that the aliens are attracted to sound, and the helicopter gets taken down when the creatures hear it. Frodo gets startled and runs away after the attack on the helicopter. Sam chases after him until they reach an area where Sam sees so many dead people. She then accidentally makes a sound when she steps on the rubble. Sam freezes, thinking that she's going to get killed when Ruben arrives to meet her. Suddenly, the two notice one of the aliens prowling nearby. They try to wait for it to leave, but Sam panics and accidentally makes a noise which alerts the alien. She tries to grab Frodo and hide, while the alien searches the vicinity for its prey. When it gets close to Ruben and fails to notice him, they realize that the creatures exclusively rely on sound. The alien only leaves when another helicopter flies by, which attracts it. Sam, Frodo, and Ruben eventually get out of there when the coast is clear. Later, Sam finds a fellow survivor using a radio. They find out that there's a refuge somewhere and are instructed to keep away from the city's bridges. Sam and the others also discover that the invasion is happening all over the world. They then hear loud explosions going off outside. When they go to the rooftop to check it, Sam and the group discover that the military is destroying the city's bridges to contain the aliens. One of the survivors starts to freak out. The man from before tries to calm him down, but he ends up accidentally killing the guy. Later on, Ruben tries to convince Sam to stay when the theater's power gets cut off. Its generator kicks on and starts making a ton of noise. Ruben tries to turn it off, but he's ultimately killed when an alien hears him. Sam is heartbroken, and all she can do is do her best to not make a sound. The next morning, Sam and Frodo leave the group to go to Harlem. She wants to get pizza from a place called Patsy's before she dies from her disease. On their way, they witness the chaos left in the wake of the invasion. Sam and Frodo rest near a fountain, and she spots a couple of kids hiding nearby. She gives them her food. Another helicopter flies by and announces that evacuation efforts are happening by boat at the South Street seaport. The noise from the helicopter rouses the monsters, and they try to attack it. Sam takes Frodo and the kids to hide in a tunnel. Sam eventually thinks the coast is clear, so she checks outside. However, an alien's there blocking their path, but it leaves when it realizes there's no sound to follow. Sam and the kids then go out and see that other survivors are making their way to the seaport. She tells them to follow the other survivors. while she goes the opposite way toward Harlem. However, the evacuating survivors make lots of noise, and this attracts the aliens. The creatures start attacking them and chaos ensues. One of the aliens hurls a car. It blows up and knocks Sam away, and she accidentally lets go of Frodo. Sam tries to chase after Frodo, but she gets caught in a stampede of panicked survivors escaping from the aliens. She eventually manages to crawl under a car. Once the coast is clear, Sam tries to look for Frodo again, but with a lack of meds and exhaustion, Sam passes out in an alley. Somewhere else, Frodo chases a rat near a subway station. He stops to get a drink when a guy named Eric emerges coughing from the flooded subway stop. Eric follows Frodo, who eventually reunites with Sam. She tells Eric to leave her and to just keep following the other survivors to safety before taking Frodo to return to their journey to Harlem. However, Eric instead chooses to follow Sam. They eventually get acquainted with each other, and Sam tells Eric about the evacuation over at the seaport. Eric convinces Sam to let him tag along with them. They eventually reach Sam's apartment where she grabs her meds. She informs Eric of her plan to get pizza in Harlem, and the man convinces her to allow him to help her with this goal, considering he has no one else and nowhere else to go. Sam reluctantly agrees, and Eric becomes more resolute when he discovers that getting pizza in Harlem is Sam's dying wish. The next day, Sam sees one of the aliens by her window, but it turns out this was just a dream. When she wakes up, Sam and Frodo try to leave Eric. They stop by a ruined bookstore where Eric manages to catch up to them, so Sam just gives in and allows the guy to join her. At that moment, they sense one of the creatures approaching, so they try to take cover in a building. Eric tries to force open one of its doors, which makes noise and attracts an alien. Sam, Frodo, and Eric make a run for it, as the creature makes more noises that attract its kind. Ultimately, the trio escapes the alien-infested building and emerge in the city's streets. To make sure the aliens would stop chasing them, Eric triggers a car alarm to divert the creature's focus away from them. They then try to hide inside an abandoned subway tunnel. There's an alien there, but they sneak past it. They go farther into the subway until they reach a flooded area where they try to wade through the water. Again, they see another alien, but they successfully evade its attention. Eventually, they reach a section of the flood that's just too deep. Eric freaks out when he has a flashback about drowning. Sam notices the aliens in the subway are coming for them, so she tries to put a hand over Eric's mouth to avoid detection. However, the creature still spots them and they desperately try to swim away from it. The creature almost catches them, but it can't swim, so it dies underwater. Sam, Eric, and Frodo, who were somehow able to hold its cat breath underwater, eventually find themselves in an abandoned church. Sam passes out, and when she wakes up, she starts vomiting. Eric wants to help her, so he asks Sam about her meds. He then goes to a pharmacy to grab them for her. There, Eric sees Frodo wandering about. On their way back to Sam, Frodo runs off to a construction area, so Eric follows him. He finds Frodo doing things a cat would do, except Frodo chooses to do them in an alien breeding nest. Eric tries to hide, but he can't just leave Frodo there. So he tries to climb up a metal beam to reach Frodo, while the alien stalks about nearby. Eric almost gets detected by one of the creatures when it gets too close to him, but he keeps quiet, and it fails to notice he's there. In the end, Eric can come back to Sam with Frodo. He gives Sam her pain meds, and she gradually recovers her strength. They then get further reacquainted when Sam tells Eric about her childhood, about how pizza always reminded Sam of her dad, about how she loved watching her dad play music at a jazz bar, and how her dad ultimately died of cancer. Hearing this makes Eric promise Sam that he's going to help her fulfill her dying wish of getting some pizza in Harlem. They reach a place called Patsy's Pizzeria the next day, but find out that it's been destroyed. Sam has a breakdown and Eric comforts her. He then asks her where they can find her dad's old jazz bar, and they head over there instead. Eric heads out, and when he comes back, he has pizza with him. He's written Patsy's on the box. Sam's super happy with the gesture, and the two share a meal. Even Frodo gets a slice. The two bond with each other some more. When they're done, they go to the building's balcony to see that the evacuation boats are leaving. There are lots of aliens on the shore. Sam then gives Eric her sweater, and the two decide to go to the port. When they get there, they sneak around to prevent the aliens from spotting them. Eric freaks out again, but Sam manages to calm him down. Afterward, Sam sends Frodo with Eric, and she comes out of hiding to distract the aliens and help her friend reach one of the boats that would take him to the refuge. Sam starts running around and attracting the aliens' attention by triggering the car alarms in the area, powering through the pain as she feels her body getting weaker by the second from exertion. Meanwhile, we see our man from before on one of the evacuation boats. He spots the commotion by the shore and pleads with the boat's crew to wait for Sam and Eric. Back at the port, Eric notices the coast is clear, so he starts running towards the water with Frodo. However, he accidentally makes some sound, which then alerts the aliens. The creatures start chasing Eric and Frodo as they desperately continue toward the boats. He's able to jump into the water with Frodo, and the aliens can't follow him there. Eric and Sam share one parting look with each other as he and Frodo swim towards the boats. When they get aboard, Eric discovers that Sam left him a note inside the sweater she gave him. In it, she thanks Eric for helping her achieve her dying wish and asks him to take care of Frodo. Back at the port, Sam cries as she stares at her old family photo while listening to a Nina Simone song on a portable stereo. She accepts that this is the end, so she unplugs the earphones and the sound plays from the stereo speakers. The sound alerts an alien, and it drops down behind Sam as the movie cuts to black. What did you think of this movie? Let us know in the comments and please like and subscribe. We hope you enjoyed our video. Watch the next recaps on the screen. See you in the next one.